Heartfelt Empire Music Group presents The Weight of a Lie, the story of Harvey Hustla. This is the car you can see in which they claim they found these weapons, in which those same weapons were owned by other individuals, and those individuals took ownership of those weapons. The police followed L.Mont. As his cousin was murdered, she was murdered by a family member. He has already taken the charge in upstate right now. And when you really look at the story, it's a deep story. The story is different because you have people who've never been in trouble who signed the affidavits for him. He's been fighting this charge for almost 5 years. And in the same instance, he had a paid lawyer. He bonded out on a $10,000 bond. And due to his criminal record, past records of murder, distribution of heroin, coke, dope, and other firearm charges, along with a vest, G-Rosé ballistic, and federal rounds, prior charges, just makes his fourth offense. He's been fighting it, and he's been quiet on it. The crazy part about this charge is the Mexican cop, which we've seen in public with his kids, has produced a lie. And the weight of a lie is scaled on the scale of justice. And L.Mont was in this building along with his cousin, taking his cousin to get a job, in which his cousin did get the job. And these officers barged in with a warrant for his cousin, not for him. He was trying to go, they didn't allow him to go. It bears the fruit of a poisonous tree. And then they end up searching the vehicle, in which he paid a private investigator to go find a lady who was in the vehicle at the time, in the business at the time, and she later became a San Tammany police officer. This is the Jefferson Parish detective office who's actually against him. And, you know, since it being a federal type case, him himself, they've been seeking to try to destroy him. L.Mont has been nothing but good to the community, helping others, things of that nature. But they don't see that. He's brought multiple certificates and certification. The judge is a fair judge. He hasn't ruled on the motion to suppress the whole time the case has been going on. Bruce Dennerville needs to be studied in a whole other framework because it's taking too long to do away with a case that so easily can be thrown away. Why hold him so long on this case? And based upon the weight of a pure lie. And we're going to leave it there because the case ain't over. The next trial date is June 22nd. They did a DNA on L.Mont. And when they did the DNA on him, they still don't have the DNA. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. We need some help from another level of government, a separate entity that's separate from every form of government, because they try to destroy him based upon the weight of a lie. And if you guys don't know about constructive possession, to any senator that sees it, it needs to be removed. The convicted felon with a firearm needs to be removed as well, because it's like, if a person don't shoot a gun, why is he getting charged for it? If you go inside of Walmart or you go inside Academy, guns are there, you don't get charged then. I feel like a person should be physically using the gun, meaning hurting somebody with it, trying to shoot somebody with it to get a convicted felon with a firearm. But it needs to be changed. It needs to be studied. These are Jim Crow laws. institutional racist laws that are in place and still in place to keep the black man down in poverty. We need to change that. This country is different, and a lot of these things is due to get convictions so a person can get in different fields of study and educate themselves or raise themselves above this type of poverty. It is all based upon a weight of a lie. And it's easy for these people to say, oh, he did this, he did that, and he never did it. But based on constructive possession, what is attempt possession? Because constructive possession is a person has to have dominion, knowledge, in which L.Mont states that he has no dominion, no knowledge, nothing. They seen a gun they claim, but we don't know if they put that gun there. And then if you say you seen a gun between the outside of a window, you need to look at the fact that it's a white gun. How you know it's not a toy? So it's all different type of elements, speculation. We're just putting forth that in the air. I just wanted to touch on how a lie, one lie, can hold weight in the justice system, and how one lie can destroy a person's life for 5 years and keep them in an impoverished state. And that's my take on the weight of a lie. Into the passenger seat. The investigator followed the vehicle to the business of Elliott Security Solutions on Manhattan. The thing is, they say that my little cousin was a homicide suspect. And that's the crazy part about it, because they came for a warrant for him, but they ended up arresting me, which violated my 4th Amendment right, because it banned the fruit of a poisonous tree, and I was never free to go. I was never free to go. If y'all say he was a homicide suspect, why didn't you have your cameras on? And then you found legal guns, which none of them was on my side. You guys put those guns there. It's crazy, because the Mexican police officer lied and said he personally got me out the car with the guns, but the lady who is now St. Tammany police officer testified that they illegally searched and seized my car, and on top of illegally doing that, they had to come inside the LA security building to obtain me, and they had to be buzzed in. So how did you personally get me out that car? That's impossible. So they still want to go to trial with that. It's crazy.